Uju Shawano Benes Indishanakaz Mekanak Kindu Damon Musquaga Miwe Zigaigan Onjabawa Gindino Maganak. Hello, my name is Anthony, and my spirit name is Southern Thunder Being. My clan is Turtle, and my people come from the Red Lake Indian Reservation in northern Minnesota. I received a scholarship for the Exploring Ecuador program through the Earl and Kathy Hoagland Sacred Menomen Fund, and this scholarship fully funded my trip. The scholarship had me focus on continuing to draw parallels between the struggles that the Ecuadorian people saw, indigenous people from Ecuador saw with their food, land, and water, and draw those back to and relate those to the struggles that Ojibwe people in Minnesota see with Menomen, which is wild rice.
My name is Gabrielle Menuman. I am studying forestry and natural resource management with a second major in Ojibwe language. I studied in Iceland. Iceland has been kind of on my bucket list of places to go for like a while now. It's a very new island compared to other places in the world because of the volcanic activity there. So I think just seeing how the land is like still really new, but like still trying to get itself established was very interesting to see. That's something that I found really fun.
I saw that when we were with the indigenous people that there were a lot of similarities between my culture as well as theirs. We understood the cultural and the spiritual meanings of what the Quechua, or the indigenous people in Ecuador, were doing and what they're saying. So publicly, I wasn't treated any differently.
I'm very white passing compared to other Native students, so I think it was a lot easier for me to blend in. I wasn't as much of a sore thumb. Also, we were going to a lot of tourist areas where there was a lot of people from different parts of the world. So most of the time I didn't stick out from the group or from people around me too much, and if I did, people didn't really seem to notice at all, which is actually very nice. My parents have always wanted me to be able to travel the world and do things that they've never been able to do. I've never been out of the country besides Canada, close to the US border. Definitely have never flown overseas, which was very different.
My mom was definitely pretty scared. She was worried that the language barrier between Spanish and English would prevent me from being able to communicate, and my dad was just really excited for me to go out on my own and go to a new country. It was the first time that I would be out of the country, so it was pretty exciting to have him kind of with a little bit more optimistic mindset, and my mom making sure that I was being safe. And going abroad as an indigenous student really gives you the opportunity to tie back some of the struggles and some of the similarities. They don't necessarily even need to be struggles. They can be positive or even funny correlations between different cultures, and then bringing that back home and seeing how that applies back here.
It was kind of difficult just coming from a country where there is that history of colonialism, and going to a different country over in Iceland where the people who currently inhabit the land have been living there since the island was founded. So that was kind of difficult, changing my mindset in a way, because I'm always so used to thinking about how land used to belong to different tribes here in America.
I think that a lot of the time indigenous communities and indigenous people share similarities across the globe, and so going to a developing country particularly and working with the indigenous population, I just recommend to be very grateful of where you are and to draw parallels to back home, and then continue to reflect upon your travels for the rest of your life.
I guess I wish I would have read more into like Icelandic culture. I know my professors definitely pushed that on us to try to read into a little bit. They offered a couple books and articles that we could read up on, getting to know what Icelandic culture is and how it's different from like American culture and even like my own culture, especially for students that have like grown up on the reservation. Even just leaving the reservation and going and experiencing places off the reservation can be slightly of a culture shock.
Keep a journal. Just writing down simple things every day helps you go back and reflect upon that and remember it, and that always paints a more vivid picture in my mind than a picture that I took on my iPhone. I think writing down in your own words and remembering it is far more rewarding.
Definitely try to get to know people in your group or professors that you're going to encounter, so you have a safe place to go and people to talk to while you're there.
In particular, really influenced the way that I view not only my community back home, but also my worldview and continuing to develop empathy for other people. And I think travel is the best way to do that.